Got it. I think that's what it is.
Okay, so you have to go live first and then
Mhm.
the person's able to join. Okay.
Right.
That's so weird because I was asking ChatGPT twice. So I'd already know about it because I saw it somewhere. And then it didn't tell me that. So it's so weird.
I've been feeling dehydrated today, and I don't know why.
Oh no. Have you been drinking water?
Yeah, I'm drinking it, but I don't know. It feels weird. I don't know if it's because it's like it's that time of the month, and I'm just
Mm,
my body just have you ever like fainted before?
no. Ha-
No,
No.
I fainted a few times in my life,
Oh
and
wow.
it's like at first it starts with like this nausea feeling, this nauseated feeling, and then you start to
Hmm.
like overheat, and
Hmm.
then when you overheat, it's like everything just turns black and you
Oh
fall
wow.
out. So it's
Oh.
like I felt like it got to the point where I was nauseated, and then I just felt my body getting weaker. I was like, I need water right now. I don't know what it is.
That's crazy. Have you
Yeah.
taken it? Does it happen? It doesn't happen often though.
No. But I have realized because the first time it happened, I was in high school, and the first time it happened when I was in high school, it was that time of the month.
Mm.
So I'm wondering. I think
That
it
would
might be
make
linked.
sense though during the time of the month. Kind of like I know people who throw up when they're on their cycle.
Oh, I get all the pregnancy symptoms.
Oh wow. No,
I
I
get it
just get
all.
lower back pain.
Mm-mm.
Like
I
I'm
get it
supposed to get
all.
mine in a couple of days, so like my back has been hurting tremendously.
I wish that was all I got. I'd be suffering for real. Cause I just learned I got fibroids, and then I also have cysts, ovarian cysts.
Okay, I have that.
Hmm. And then recently, I think because after I had my baby, I was having like all these problems,
Mhm.
and I was trying to figure out what was going on. And I went and got a CT, and they said, "Hi, hey
Thank
everybody."
you.
They were saying how they found a rare condition, which no every time I talk to somebody to see if they ever heard of it, nobody even knows. It's called the Nutcracker syndrome.
I've never heard of that.
So it's when your renal vein is being compressed, and it's the vein that is connected from your heart to the kidney.
Okay.
So it's something when you like something that squeezes it together so the blood flow isn't going properly in between. So it's like something is squeezing it together too tight. And so from what the doctor, so when I went in there to the doctor to be like, okay, so CT said that I have something called the Nutcracker syndrome. So I went in there and they were like, "You have that?" I was like, "Yeah." And I got scared because she seemed excited about it.
Oh my god.
I got scared. So I'm like, "What?" I'm like,
No,
"So do you know what that is?" She was like, "No, but I'm about to read up on it right now."
that
So
is
I'm like,
crazy.
"Okay." So she does her little research. She was like, "Well, we're gonna have to send you to a kidney specialist." So I went to the kidney specialist, and they're like, "Oh, yeah, we've never met anybody with it, but I've read stories on it and books about it." I'm like, "Well,
I
I
would
don't
be
wanna
so
be."
concerned if everybody keeps telling me that.
Right, I'm like, "Well, I don't wanna be your test dummy either. You're not about to just open me up and all this other kind of stuff, and I'm like your first patient, that's not about to happen." So now they're gonna send me over to, like, a vein specialist, so I have to wait and see.
Oh no. Well, make sure you keep me updated because that sounds crazy.
Yeah, I kinda wanna,
So,
like I wanna, like, talk about it more on here on my social platforms because apparently you won't women won't be or men, I don't know if men can get it, but you won't be able to find it unless you get a CAT scan,
oh, okay,
so
okay.
or
So it's not
MRI.
commonly spoke of.
They weren't even looking for that. They just randomly found it. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Someone said you look like a med student.
Really? With the that's I've never seen a doctor with,
Orange
orange
hair.
hair. Yeah.
No, seriously. That's so funny.
So yeah.
But no, I've never heard of that though before. I've
Yeah.
obviously heard of
Look it up. It's called Nutcracker syndrome.
let me look it up. Obviously I've heard of people with PCOS because I've had PCOS all my life. Nutcracker syndrome.
Hey y'all.
Nutcracker syndrome is a
Thank
condition where the
you.
renal vein is compromised, usually between the abnormal. That's so crazy.
Right.
Let's see how common
And
is it.
I don't like how doctors get excited. Like with
Right?
do that outside the office. Don't do that with the patient.
More common than previously thought. The syndrome occurs. Yeah, it says it's rare entirety. That's crazy.
Right. So it's like, why me? How, like, what the fuck?
Yeah, that is crazy. And it looks crazy on the picture. It's like all colorful and whatnot.
So
Anyway, but that's at least they were able to figure it out, and at least they didn't keep telling you like, "Oh, I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is."
right.
I
And
hate
then
when you
like
go. I
my
hate when you go to the doctors and they're like, "Oh yeah, I don't know what it is." What do you mean you don't know what it is?
my next question would be, I want to know like how long have I had it?
Yeah.
All that kind of stuff.
Is it treatable? Like,
I think so.
is
Well,
it
yeah, they're saying like
fixable?
they will have to like cut me open pretty much. I would have to get surgery, like get a splint or something like that to open it up.
Mhm.
But from what my primary care physician was saying was like, from what she read on Google, she
Girl, I
was
would not trust her.
she was
You
like
telling me you a doctor and you Googled it?
she was
When
like
I
she said it seems to be more common in small framed people because everything is more pushed
type,
together.
yeah,
So I'm like, okay, well, so you telling me I need to gain weight? Like, what do I need to do? She's like, well, I didn't say that. So I don't know, man. We'll see.
that's funny. Not type frames people be like, okay, so how do I gain weight then?
Right. Because that's been a struggle for me too.
Yeah, I can't. It's so funny. It was so crazy because there's people who like struggle to lose weight, and there's people who struggle to gain weight, and it's just like, why can't we just all be in the middle?
I all my life I wanted to be a thick girl and it just never happened. And I just knew after my first child I was gonna gain weight. Didn't happen. I
I
was
was gonna
thinking
say,
like,
did you gain weight while you were
no,
pregnant? Besides, obviously, your belly.
my first baby, I ended after birth, I ended up weighing less than what I started with. Crazy.
Stop.
Then my second baby, no change. Third baby, nothing. Then this one came along, I gained like 5 pounds. So this is the largest I've ever been,
That is crazy. How much do you weigh, if you don't mind me asking?
like 146, and I'm 5'10".
Girl, bye.
5'10".
Goodbye. I cannot.
I went from a small to a medium.
Hey, do you like the weight that you have now, though?
The only thing that so for me it was a shock, right? It's like, yes, I asked for it. It was a shock though, because it was like, dang, now I none of my clothes, like my pants fit. So I was a little depressed about that after the baby. It's like, fuck, I don't got no clothes to wear. All I could wear is like dresses right now. Cause my hips are, they spread.
Yeah.
I had a whole 10-pound baby. So it's like,
Oh my God.
yeah, he was,
Really?
yeah.
Did you give natural birth?
Yes, they thought I was supposed to they thought he wasn't gonna be no more than 8 pounds, and because I
That
carried so little.
that happened to my cousin, and I actually witnessed it. My goddaughter, my cousin, she was about to give birth, and they said that they knew that the baby was big, but they didn't know she was that big. And
Mhm,
after she gave birth, the baby was 10.5 pounds, and she pushed naturally. She did.
mhm.
The baby did end up getting injured though, like in the
Really?
process. The baby's shoulder broke. because it was so they couldn't get her out of, the area,
Mhm.
and so the doctor had to break her arm in order to get her out.
That's so sad. The,
Yeah.
yeah, Kai, his name is Kai. Kai got stuck, and but when he finally, because it took me a long time to push, because I'm thinking like, "What the heck is taking so long?" It never takes this long to push a baby out from,
Yeah.
my past experiences. And so
How
I'm
many do
like,
you have?
4.
4, okay.
So I'm like, what's taking well, in the middle of pushing by like the 15th push, I was like, okay, what's taking so long? And she's like, so we think that he's bigger than what we thought. So,
Now we think
and mind you, she didn't tell me any of this, but by the time he got out, he was blue. He was not breathing.
Grace with my goddaughter was the same way.
Blue, not breathing, and they did something. But my man, he couldn't cut the umbilical cord or anything like that, and they rushed him somewhere, and he was fine after that, but he was heavily bruised.
Yeah. It's so crazy though because it's like they can know if the baby has all these conditions and has all these things before they're born, but it's like you can't predict.
But check this out. So you know how like you have ultrasounds before you give birth?
Mhm.
And they were checking the weight through the ultrasound, and
That's what
he
I'm
was
saying.
every time it was coming out that he was larger than what he was supposed to be. But they kept saying, "Oh, the ultrasound, the sometimes like you just don't really go by that. It's probably not right."
I think that they were saying that because you're so tiny. So they're like,
Mhm.
there's no way that this tiny woman is gonna have this big old baby. Boy, were they
Yes.
wrong.
And he was the biggest on the floor too.
Yeah, Grace was the biggest one. She everybody kept coming to the room to wanting to
Mhm.
meet the biggest baby that came out naturally.
Mhm. Yep. Yep. So when the nurses came, they're like, "Your little tiny self had this big old baby."
Mhm.
Like, yes, I was mad too.
I would have
Like,
been mad too, shoot.
but I'm glad I didn't get a C-section though, low key. I never wanted a C-section.
Yes, I'm at least yeah, because I heard the recovery for C-section is so bad.
That and then this I'm not crazy about scars. So it's like,
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah, no,
cool.
my cousin, her last baby after my goddaughter,
Mhm.
that one she ended up having to have a C-section because when they weighed him, they said that he was going to be big too.
Mhm.
And then they said, we can try to push if you want to, but she was already traumatized from them breaking her last baby's arm that she was like, no, I don't want to try. Just take him out.
Yeah,
So she took him out and he was 9.5. So
that's crazy.
he was like 1 pound less than the other baby.
That's crazy. Yeah, they were like, "Well, yeah, so," and I kept telling them, I was like, "Man, I am so uncomfortable. I feel like he's bigger." I complain. You know how doctors really don't like to listen to you.
Hmm.
So I'm like, "I don't really feel comfortable. Something's just telling me." And I listen to this. I had to beg to be induced. I begged to be induced. When I went to the hospital to get induced, they put me on the wait list for 2 weeks. Mind you, they
2 weeks
called
is
me
crazy.
they called me a day before his due date. So can you imagine if I wouldn't have been on on that inducement thing? I don't think he would have made it.
Yeah.
If that I had
Yeah.
to wait 2 weeks after,
I just never understood doctors like that because it's like if I'm telling you that I'm ready, I'm the one carrying. It's like you should go with my word versus whatever you
honest
have in your mind.
honestly, I think they had my due date wrong. That's what I think. I think he was so big because his due date,
He was earlier.
I think he should have been, honestly, my gut was always telling me he should have been born 11/11, but he came 11/21.
Oh wow. Yeah. So you have a Scorpio baby?
Yeah, Scorpio, Sun and Moon, Cancer rising.
Oh wow. Says a true Scorpio. Is he very emotional?
He's 2.
Oh,
So
okay.
they're all emotional at this age. He's 2.
Uh,
He's very loving, very social, but I feel like
they
that's
are very
probably gonna change because so Scorpios, I don't find Scorpios to be very sociable like that when they get older.
they're not sociable when they're younger, they're very reserved when they're younger and very shy and timid. They're like the awkward, nerdy kind when they're younger.
Mhm,
Once they get older, they become very they like to explore. They like to
mhm,
explore a lot. They love to talk.
mhm.
But they're not like sociable like outing. Like they not that they like to go out. They're very social within their group.
Yeah, yep. So I have my oldest is a Libra.
Oh wow. Okay.
So
So
I have
you got Libra,
he's a
Scorpio.
Libra, Sun, Taurus, Moon, Gemini rising,
Oh, so he has a lot of personality.
and then my second is a Aries Sun, Taurus Moon, Capricorn rising.
Oh Lord.
I don't
Okay.
know. I think he might be a little nutty when he get older.
Yeah. So I usually get along with Capricorns because I'm an Aquarius and I'm so close to the cusp of Cap because my birthday is January 25th. So I get along with Capricorns. I think the only issue that I clash with Capricorns is that Capricorns tend to like
Structure,
to
too
be
much
in
structure.
control. They like to be in control and they like to lead. And me, I'm a leader, so we clash in that aspect. And I feel like Capricorns are very, very money hungry.
Oh, they're
They,
the workers. They're the workers of the zodiac.
yeah, so I feel like they're very money hungry. And as someone who's like an older sibling, I have older sibling syndrome, so I'm not big with
I got you. So you was the leader.
I was a leader, so it's just me and Capricorns, we can get along to a certain extent. Once you start trying to tell me what to do or how to do things, I'm instantly annoyed. And I'm just
Got
like,
you. I'm like that
yeah.
too, but I don't have none of them placements.
Well, so what's your placements?
Pisces, Sun and Moon, Leo rising.
So you're kind of like your son. You have all of the same traits and then one, oh wow.
Mm-hmm.
So how do you feel like
I feel
do
like
you feel like your personality
I feel like
matches?
I feel like me and my youngest will get along like this because we're both
Yeah.
water, sun, and moons, and I'll be able
Yeah.
to understand his emotions. Now, his father, on the other hand, I think they might clash when they get older, because his father is a Taurus sun, Gemini moon. And, Gemini moons, they're not really in
Ooh,
tune with the
my
emotion.
dad was the same.
They're not in tune with the emotions. I don't think he's gonna understand, you
Yeah.
know, the deep feelings
The
that
feeling,
he
the
might
core
have.
feelings that he's gonna feel.
Yep. And I think that might hurt my son's feelings, but at the same time, but his father is also a Scorpio rising, so
Oh, okay.
we'll
So
see.
maybe he'll be understanding a little, but not as much. So mine, I'm an Aquarius sun, Cancer moon, and my rising is a Sagittarius, and then my Venus is an Aquarius.
Oh, so I okay. Oh, you a fun girl. So
Yeah.
you're just like you just love whoever you love.
Yes,
You're
I
not
love very smart.
traditional,
No, I'm very caring. I'm very passionate about things, but I can also be
artsy.
very reserved. Um,
Are you artsy?
I I am artsy, so I'm
Mhm,
actually a cosmetologist, so I love everything that has to do with like fashion and beauty.
mhm.
Um, I'm not very outgoing, but I can be outgoing. Um, I'm a social butterfly, but to an extent, like where I have control. So because I was also the oldest child, that I feel like that also kind of impacts my
Mhm.
personality. My mom was like a helicopter mom, so I couldn't do much. And because my
Oh,
mom restricted me so much as a child and didn't let me, I would say, like explore the world. As I'm older now, I find comfort in being home. I find comfort in not going out. I'm not a
you're a
clubber.
homebody.
I'm a big homebody. I'm not a clubber. I'm not a partier. You won't catch me talking about let's go to the club. Um, never. I did it from the ages of like 23, from 20, I would say 21 to 23, around there. I
Uh-huh.
was out like partying. And then once I hit 23, like reality hit me and was like, what are you doing? You don't even like this. I went through a whole depression thing during that frame. So I understand
Really?
why I would do it. But I was just like one day it literally just hit me and I was like, "What are you doing? You don't even like." I was going to a bar on a like Wednesday or Thursday and I'm like, "What are you doing? This is not you." And I like snapped out of it and then I just realigned my life again and I was just like, "Yeah, this is not me."
Thank you.
I was like, I can't keep doing this. I don't even this is not who I am." And then
Mm.
after that, my life just went right back. I go out to bars, so then what's worse is I married a Leo.
Oh, so she's the life of the party and wants to
But
be
it's
social.
crazy because she's not.
Really? What is her moon sign?
I have it on hold on, I have it written down because I can never remember hers. But so I've dated a Leo before,
Mhm.
and that was hell. Let me tell you, that was freaking hell.
'Cause they're about
I found
self and
yes. So she is a Leo, Gemini, and a Virgo.
oh, she's a communicator, talker.
No, she's not.
You don't like
That's
to
the
communicate?
thing. She doesn't like to communicate. She doesn't like to talk. She's just a listener. And but I also blame it because she's in the military.
What's
So I
horizon?
think
What horizon is what?
a Leo. Oh,
What's her
Her rising was a Gemini.
to
Her moon was a Virgo.
your my worst date? Check out my video. If you saw, I put a YouTube video out on my worst date ever.
Your stories are hilarious.
The worst day ever. Yes, and
I
it's still
actually I've considered doing this. So I have like a bunch of stories because before I met my wife, I was gonna make videos like that. And I did once upon a time make story time videos, but I feel like now at this point, my issue is like even to this day. So me and my wife have been married for almost a year now. I get like random text messages, random messages on social media from like people that I used to talk to, and I've been wanting to make videos of like my story time because my
Mhm,
story times are fucking hilarious.
mhm.
But I feel like that's opening a can of worms that I don't
You
want
feel like
open.
she's
And
gonna
if
be uncomfortable with it?
no, not her. I know
Okay.
she'll think it's hilarious,
Mhm.
but I feel like it's gonna get them to like want to like reach out or say something or feel like
Block
they have
'em.
some type of power. But the thing is, I cannot find them on social media.
Oh,
So
so then
like,
so what?
I have one in particular that I was dating before her, and that was a hot mess. Let's just say, little to say,
Mhm,
it was a hot mess. And I was like that was, like, maybe the craziest one that I dated, like, when I introduced her to my family, I don't know why. Before her, I had not introduced anyone to my family
mhm.
for since COVID, so since 2018 to 2024, I had not introduced no one to my family. I kept my love life at a very low. I was just dating, I didn't get in a relationship. That's how traumatized I was from the Leo, let's just say.
Mhm,
And, I decided to introduce her to my family, I think it was New Year's Eve.
mhm.
Girl, why did the girl get drunk,
Hey, Trey.
threw up all over my cousin's couch, was talking v very inappropriately. When I say inappropriately, it wasn't that she was saying bad words. She was being very, very I'm a my one of my love languages is physical touch.
Mhm,
But at a certain time and a certain place, especially because I date women, I'm very cautious of what I do around children because children are curious. And I don't
right.
feel like it's my responsibility to educate your child on what same sex is. That's your job as a parent. Who
Mhm,
am I to sit here and tell your child, like, oh, yeah, I date a woman and this is how it works?
mhm.
They're not my child. I don't know what you want your child to know, and I don't know what you do want your child to know. So who am I to sit here and educate your children? You know what I mean?
Right.
So I would be very reserved on the things that I do. My nieces and my nephews knew that I dated women, but it's different to knowing and seeing.
Okay, I got you.
So she was being very, very touchy, very feely, and I was just so awkward the whole night. And my family can tell, like, because every time that she would try to touch me, I would be like, like, calm down, like, there's children, like, stop touching me, there's children. My goddaughter would be on my lap and she'd be touching on me, and I'm like, girl, stop touching me.
Mhm.
And to this day, this girl still tries to contact me. till this day, she still tries to she sends me emails. She makes new emails and sends me email messages. She'll try to FaceTime me through these emails. She has a Twitter and she makes posts about me still, and I'm just like, it's so crazy.
That sound like a soul tie.
Yeah, no, I don't.
How
And what's
long ago was
crazier,
that?
it was over a year. It's almost 2 years now, almost.
2 years.
But what's crazier about it is that we were best friends for 5 years before I gave her a chance.
Mm.
But there's a whole messier story about it. I could open
Well,
up
so
my
what would you
friendships.
nickname what would her name be in the story?
I don't even know.
Stalker?
It's maybe stalker. I don't even know. Cause at this point, it's like, girl, you are nuts and you need help. So, with your series of going live now, since you've been live, are you planning on doing like your story times or like what kind of vibe are you gonna go
On
for your
live?
lives? Yeah.
Girl, I don't know. My mind is so sporadic and I'm just all over the place. It's just whatever the vibe that I'm feeling, I guess. Trey, I don't really
Wait,
give me a topic to talk about. I don't know.
yeah. Yeah. I was saying, can you show me your dress, Taylor? It is
Sure. It's
cute.
it's a actually a shirt and pants set. Let me see. Oh, that's
Oh,
my-
that's cute. Oh my god, you are so tiny. That is cute, and it matches your hair so well.
Yeah, that's
Do
my
you do your own installs?
yes.
Oh, wow. So you've mastered it.
Yes, I do my own installs. I only do this because my hair is going through some stupid stuff right now.
Have you
Otherwise,
decided
I
if you're
because
gonna
I
cut it?
you said what?
Have you decided if you're gonna cut it?
I want to. I just have to find the right time to do it and then
Yeah.
be in the
I think that you should cut it only because you already wear a wig, so it's not gonna be noticeable
I
that you
don't
cut
but
your hair.
this is not my thing. I'm only wearing the wigs because my hair because right now it's hot. I will be wearing my
Mm.
hair curly and just out
Oh,
right
okay, that
now.
makes sense. Yeah.
Usually I'm just a like in the during the spring and summer times I'm a curly girl. Winter I might do braids and like wigs and stuff like that, but right now I think it's gonna be a rough summer because I know it's gonna be hot. That's probably why I overheated
Yeah.
low key because I'm like
Yeah. Well, my wife sometimes wears wigs and she be when last summer she was like that she felt like she had a helmet. She's like, I feel like I have a helmet on. Talk
talk
about very
about
intense.
oh. So do you know are you into like you're somewhat into astrology, you know, that kind of stuff?
Yes.
Do you are you into like the transits and all that kind of thing?
Have no clue about that.
You don't know about transits? Oh, crap. Okay.
What is it?
So shit, I don't know where to start. Cause
What is it?
it's so much. So let me see. Let me get I'm on my iPad. Let me see if I can. Okay, so for example, right now it says April 20th through April 30th. Very intense fixed grand cross, which means conflict, right?
Okay.
Between Pluto, Mars, Lilith, and Sun. That
Okay.
means tension, pressure, drama, conflict, violence, or accidents. You might see that way more probably on the news, social media. I'm not gonna say it's kind of fucked up to say it's cool to see like on social media, but you see
So
it
do you mean kind
working,
of like retrogrades?
something like that. That's part of a transit, yeah.
Okay, 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 okay.
So this isn't necessarily a retrograde though, because we're all I think all planets went direct already. We're out of retrogrades right now.
Yeah.
Um, so the most affected would be Taurus, Scorpios, Aquarius, and Leos. So
Okay.
especially if it's at a, or do you know the degrees of your chart?
Mm-mm.
Your okay, so
No.
I'll have to put because I read birth charts. So I'll have to pull up your stuff. I don't want you to do that on here and tell me your birth time and all that kind of stuff
Yeah.
on here. But I guess maybe you could text it to me and I'll pull it up for you and I can tell you. But So it is mainly affecting like early degrees or really, really late degrees. I know it's affecting me somewhat because I'm a Leo rising. It's probably going to affect you in different ways, but it all affects people in separate ways. But I will say this, pay attention to anybody that you may know, especially like on social media, like a celebrity or somebody of some sort that has maybe, let me see, what does it say? What is it? Tauruses, Scorpios, Aquariuses, and Leos for
Mhm.
this week, April 20th through April 30th. Just pay attention to see if people are tweeting crazy shit, whatever the case may be.
Yeah.
You'll notice it. So it's gonna be I kind of woke up on bullshit today. I woke up mad and I didn't know why. It's because I didn't see this but before. And now I'm like,
Mhm.
oh, okay. So this was supposed to happen.
Yeah, it makes
so
sense
but
after you read it.
so now that I know, it's like, all right, I'm just gonna stay calm for this week and not let whatever comes my way affect me. You see what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Because I just know what's going on. But yeah, them
That's
transits,
interesting. I got cussed out today.
by who? Who cussed you out? Was it by an Aries?
But I didn't react. Aries are hot crackers, man. One of my closest friends is a Aries, and boy, I have had to learn that they have 0 patience.
Yeah. Oh yeah, he got cussed out by an Aries. I already knew it. They're going
Mhm.
through Aries is going through it right now. They're going through it right now.
I can't.
So be careful, I just say. Cause what's your big three?
Aquarius, Cancer, and Sagittarius.
Okay, yeah. So mainly your sun sign.
Yeah, they don't have patience. Yeah, she doesn't have patience at all.
My
And what's crazy,
Venus, my Venus is in Aries, and so is my Mercury.
really, my Venus and Mercury are both Aquariuses.
You're a wild one.
I
So
think I'm more.
eccentric.
I feel like we're more secretive, wild. Like we're not very who can all right, so you see how Sagittarius is by themselves are very out there?
They're
I
very
feel like Aquarius
flirtatious.
is, yeah, I feel like Aquarius, because I have Aquarius and Sagittarius, I feel like I'm very, very flirtatious, but I'm a reserved flirtatious. Like, it's like you don't expect me to be flirtatious and to be outgoing
Mhm.
because I come off as someone who's very reserved. But then you get to know me and you realize, like, okay, she is kind of like a firecracker, but a subtle one.
I have I have a fire stellium. I have a lot of Sagittarius in my chart. And to it, so my Aries and Mercury, so I mean Venus and my Mercury. Mercury is your communication, how you
Hmm.
communicate. So if you piss me off,
Yeah.
I'm very quick with my words. But for the most part, my Pisces sun and moon keeps me. I feel okay. I'll put it like this because I'm a water stellium and a fire stellium. I feel like I battle myself
Hmm.
because it's like fire and water. It's like my head, everything in me wants to just
Go off.
go off, but then my Pisces side is like, Taylor, calm down.
It's like you're zen. It's like, okay, bring yourself down.
Right. Calm down. You don't have to do this. It's okay. You know, but even with my Leo rising, I be wanting to just sometimes just be all out there and then I'm just like, no, I think I just want to chill.
Yeah, I feel like that's me because I don't, when I tell you, like, I have moments where I want to be social, and then there's moments when I'm just like, do I really? Or like you said, I have moments where I'm like, yeah, I'm about to go off, and then another side of me is like, no, girl, just don't even give them that.
Have you ever like said some shit and you like, damn, I can't believe I just said, or you think back later, like, man, that was wild.
All the time, all the time. I'm just like, did I really just say that? That was kind of fucked up.
That's scary. I'd be like, have you ever scared yourself?
In what way?
Like when you just been so mad, you get scared of yourself. Like, oh my
Oh,
god,
no. No, I don't let
no.
myself get that mad.
Oh,
I have this big mentality where it's like, I don't I guess now as an adult, I kinda tell myself, like, not to give people the power to upset me as much. So I wouldn't say that I get as upset. I might get in my feelings for a moment, and then I'll just be like, "Girl, brush it off. Just let it go. It is what it is," and then I just kinda
I
go.
want to say that, but then there's the other side of me, the mature side of me. I think the mature side is the water sign, right?
Mhm.
But that fire side of me be like, don't let this person play with you.
Yes, that's definitely a fire sign. A fire sign is definitely gonna be like, "Yeah, no, we're about to egg this on, and we're about to go
And then I'll be
off."
like, my other issue is I'm gonna make you feel how I feel, but worse. Because I
Yeah,
want you to feel what I'm feeling.
that's definitely a fire sign. Fire signs want you to feel what they're feeling. If they're feeling horrible and they're feeling drained and exhausted, they wanna bring you
It's
along
but
with them.
no, it's not even that. It's I want you to feel how you're making me feel.
Yeah.
So that's not
Someone
evil.
said evil.
That is not evil. First of all, it's evil for you to make me feel that way. That's how I look at it. Don't make me feel mad.
That's such a fire mentality.
Don't make me feel upset, and I won't piss you off. We don't have
It's
to
kinda
fight.
like that saying, like, when somebody's like, "Oh, you need to apologize," and then you're like, "Okay, I'll
Or
apologize." "Well, I'm sorry that you feel that way."
yeah. Oh, I say that all the time. I apologize that you feel that way, but I still meant everything that I said.
That's such a fire sign apology.
People get
But
offended by it, but it's like it's the truth. Because then I feel like I'm lying if I say something else. I can, and I'll say that. I'm like, well, I can lie to you and tell you I'm sorry, but I'm not.
you guys are so blunt. I sometimes I feel like I'm a little too honest, but I feel like it's my Sagittarius side, and I'm just like, girl, stop. Just, I think my Aquarius side, because as an Aquarius, I'm so reserved and quiet sometimes, and
Mhm.
then my Sagittarius side is like wanting to do the most, and I'm just like, girl,
I don't
bring
know
it
now
down.
one Aquarius that's not a fighter.
So you probably know February Aquariuses. January Aquariuses are more the calm ones.
Okay.
Every Aquarius that I know that's a February Aquarius versus the January Aquariuses, the February ones are very outgoing, very exotic, very they like to fight. They're just on attack mode.
Hmm.
Yes. Versus January Aquariuses, we're more reserved, we're more chill. And I think it's because we get that Capricorn aspect because we're
But
so
Capricorns
close to
don't
it.
play either.
They don't, but Capricorns are not big fighters. They're more talkers. And I could tell you that I'm a big talker.
Okay, you talk a lot of shit.
Boy, I can talk a lot of shit. And I'm not a big fighter, if I have to, I will, obviously, but I can sit here and talk my love language. One of my love language, my wife says it all the time, is I love to talk shit. I
Wow.
just love it's just that's just and I feel like I get that from being so close to Capricorn, 'cause I'm only 5 days away from being a Capricorn. So I
Thanks,
definitely
Sheree.
feel like that is kind of the reason why I'm that way. But I
Hmm.
also feel like February Aquariuses are very toxic. But it could be
I
because
look at because you know who the first person I think of. Do you know who I
now
think
you
of?
look like a star. Who?
Blueface. He's a fucking Aquarius.
Yes, you know who else is an Aquarius?
Who?
This is a perfect example. Scotty. Scotty's a January. I think she's a
Scotty
January or
Divine.
yes, she's an
She's so
Aquarius.
calm, but she's
She's so
sneaky. She's sneak.
that's
I
what I'm
know.
telling you.
Okay.
We portray to look like we're so calm, cool, collected, and reserved, but we're very sneaky. We do things that people don't think that we do because we're very good at hiding it.
Yeah.
Versus Blueface is a February
He's just out
Aquarius,
there. He don't
and
give a
they
fuck.
don't give a fuck. They're gonna do what they want, and if you're gonna talk, you could talk. They don't care. I feel like February Aquarius's mentality is, I don't care if you're talking bad about me or talking good about me. At least you're talking about me.
Megan Thee Stallion's Aquarius too.
Yes,
But I don't know. I don't think of her as a fighter though.
but she can talk her shit.
Is she a February Aquarius? I think so.
I'm not sure.
I think she might be.
I'm gonna Google it. Let me check on my wife's iPad.
Yeah, I don't need to mess with an Aquarius name. Y'all sound crazy and sneaky.
Just a little. All right, so let's search. So,
Aquariuses are they're very free and just go with the flow. That's how I view y'all.
okay, so Megan's birthday is February.
Okay.
February 15th.
I find that do you find a lot of Aquarius be lying a lot?
Yes, they're big liars. We're great liars. I'm
Between
not even
them and Libras, I don't know who lie more.
I would say Libras. As someone who
Libras.
knows, and one thing about Aquarius is that we're very we're like we won't deny it. Like if you ask us a question, like for example now, like we're not in denial, we're not gonna be like, oh no, 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 no. I
Mhm.
will literally tell you. If you ask me what are your toxic traits, I will tell you I talk shit. I can be very flirtatious. I can also be very quiet. I can be very reserved. Like I will tell you my toxic traits. That's never a fear of mine. Because at the end of the day, my mentality is like I'm only doing myself a disjustice if I sit here and tell you something else. Because at the end of
Mhm.
the day, what if what if we don't get along?
Damn Chad. No.
It's okay. Everyone always says that now, but then when you actually get to know an Aquarius, because that's another thing. As I don't know if maybe
They
this
make
is
good
an
friends
Aquarius
for
thing.
sure.
Yes, we're great friends. We're very friendly. We're very passionate. We're also we're very good at I don't even want to say manipulating, but we're very good at convincing you that we're a good idea.
Okay.
So I would definitely say with Aquarius is it's kind of hit or miss. I don't know. I feel like my top you're scaring me. I feel like our good traits do balance out our bad traits. We can't all sit here and say that every single trait is amazing. We
It's
all
something
have our
about them air
flaws.
signs, man. Air
Yeah,
signs
so
get bad reps for
they
sure.
do. They definitely do. But
Gemini tops it off for all of y'all.
well, that's what I'm saying. My wife is a Leo. She's a fire sign and she is nowhere near what I thought a Leo would be. Because even when I met her and she told me she was a Leo, I was like, "Oh, no." And usually, because of what I went through with my last ex who was a Leo, the moment you would tell me you were a Leo while I was dating people, I would stop talking to you immediately.
Does
Like,
she have curly hair? Or
my
like
wife?
does she thick curly hair?
My wife, yeah.
Most Leos do.
Taylor, I think I'm obsessed with you. Aw.
Oh.
But yeah, so I was like so convinced that I would never date a Leo, but then in the back of my head, I felt like my soulmate was a Leo because of the fact that I could not stand them so much. I was like, I know God is going to be like, that's going to be your soulmate because you cannot stand them so much. We're going to make that your soulmate.
Mhm.
And I gave it a chance. And obviously now I'm married, but she's completely opposite. Like she's not a partier like most Leos. She's very, reserved for the most part. Like she has her moments when she wants to go out, but it's the same thing with me. Like I'm very reserved, but I'll have moments when I want to be active. I would say she's even more of a homebody than me, but I also blame it on her being in the military because she has moved so long. Like she's been in the military for 12 years. So she's been by
Uh,
herself for 12 years.
so she more robotic like almost?
Yes. Yeah, like she has her moments when she wants to go out, but then she has her moments where we'll be home and not do nothing for weeks. But I'm fine with it because as an Aquarius and someone who's a homebody, I'm fine with that. And
Mhm.
then out of nowhere, we'll be like, we need to get off of this funk and we'll go do something. Like we go on vacation. We went on vacation back to back twice, 2 weeks apart.
That's crazy. I
But then
am
now we're not
39.
doing anything. I
No.
still can't believe that. I can't believe you're almost 40.
Oh my god, I can't believe it either.
I can't believe I'm 31.
I remember when I was saying that too.
But I also couldn't believe that you have 4 kids.
Yeah,
I when you told me I was so flabbergasted. I don't know what I was more flabbergasted with, you having 4 kids or that you were 39.
39. I don't
'Cause it's
shit, but it's like, what does 39 look like though, for real? What
shoot.
it like? when I look like before, I remember when I was younger, like in my 20s, I'm thinking like 39, you're gonna be balding. I'm gonna blow up like a cow. All kind of stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't know what I thought I would look like. But
I
then it's
feel like
like,
as we grow older, we realize that the age that we said was old is no longer old.
yeah, so it's like four, four of them. But it's like, what is old now though? Like now that you're in your 30s, what is considered old?
I would say 50, 50 and up.
You think 50 is old? You know,
I feel like
there's 50-year-olds still in the club.
I know. I know. I've seen. But I think that my mentality with 50 is because, like, you're so
Or is that just mature?
I don't even want to say it's matured, but I would say as time is growing, I feel like more ages are being normalized and are not as because me, like right now, my grandma from my mom's side, she's almost 80, or
Mhm,
she is 80 now. She doesn't look like she's 80. But
mhm.
if I sit here and remember my great grandma when she was 80, homegirl couldn't even walk.
Yeah.
Sis was in the bed. So
Mhm.
I think that as we have grown up, obviously like
Health.
technology has developed and et cetera, whatever's in our milk, whatever's in our food is making us last longer. So I would definitely say that that could also be an impact as to why we're still looking young.
Mhm. And
Cause
health has
And
a lot
definitely
to do
health
with
is
it.
being taken, yeah, and health is definitely taken a lot. Some people take it more serious now than in the past. So
Mhm.
I would
Drugs
definitely
and
say
all that
that
type of
those
stuff.
things kind of all take into consideration. So I would say maybe 50, 60s. I would say is old. Maybe
Okay.
closer to 60.
Or how I would say once you're able to get that senior card, when you get the discounts,
Yes.
that's when you be like,
Maybe
all right, it's
maybe when
official.
you have to go back to the DMV and retake your test because you're a little too old and you need to make sure that you're still
Right.
that you can still drive, that's old.
I just I don't know. If you okay, somebody asked me this a while ago. If you didn't know how old you were, how old would you say you are?
I would say I'm in my early 20s. 20s to 20, well, I would say like 25. 23 to
25.
25.
You might put my son in here. You got your toys? Okay.
Your kids are so calm.
You wanna say hi? Hi. Yeah.
Hi. Hi, handsome.
Hi.
He's so cute.
Hi.
Hi.
You got your toys in here? Okay. There you go. Got your yeah.
But yeah, I definitely don't feel like I'm 31, nor do
You
I
don't feel.
feel like I look like I'm 31. Whenever I tell
Mhm.
people to guess my age, they always say between 23, and I would say the most that I got was like 26. I never get 31. How about you?
Let me see.
When I guessed your age, I thought you were maybe like 27. Between
27.
25 and 27.
I would say maybe maybe 28.
Mhm.
That's a weird age too.
It is. It's kinda like an off. Like, I don't you don't really hear people like, "Yeah, I'm 28."
Yeah. I would say maybe like somewhere in there, I guess. Because I'm not at the point where I'm grunting getting out the bed. You know?
Yeah.
Like,
Someone said
oh.
26.
I'm not there yet.
Do you wanna have more kids?
No. Considering what I went through with the last one, 4 is enough.
Yeah.
4 is enough.
4 is definitely a good number.
And I'm up there in age already to be having another one. My bad.
You have a girl, right?
I have one girl.
1 girl. Okay, so 1 girl, 3 boys. I mean, at least you got your girl.
I know.
Do you feel
Word.
like do you feel like your kids are more of a mama's kids, or do you feel like the boys are more of a mama's kid, the girl's the daddy's girl?
No, the
One more
girl,
won't hurt.
my girl is she will let anybody know I am her best friend.
Aw. What's her
Yes.
sign?
She's a Taurus. She's a Taurus. Look, it's crazy how we're all connected. She's a Taurus sun,
Mhm.
Pisces moon, Pisces
Okay.
rising.
Okay, okay, so you guys all have something in common.
Yes, because my boys are Libra sun, Taurus moon. My other son, Aries sun, Taurus moon. Daughter, Taurus sun, Pisces moon. Me, Pisces sun
So
and moon.
do you feel like your house is very zen? Like you feel like you guys have a really good balance?
Oh yeah, all my kids, they're all very well behaved. We all just chill. When it's time to turn up, they'll turn up. When we're yeah, everybody gets along.
That's good.
Everybody gets along. I would consider myself lucky,
Yeah,
especially like let me see. I would say the star of the kids will probably be the girl.
definitely.
She
She's
check
surrounded by a
even
bunch of boys.
Satori here. He'll tell you
Mhm.
she
Yeah.
gravitates or people gravitate to her ever since she was a baby. It's something. Bye. Have a good one.
That's good though. At least, like I said, you have the girl, you have the boy, so if you do choose not to have more, you kind of already have.
I know, but it's crazy because it's like it's like I wouldn't be mad if I had one more, like another girl, only because there's a name. It's this name. That's what sucks. I have this name, and I want if I have another daughter, I want her to have this
Have
name.
you ever considered adopting?
No,
No?
I'm scared
Why are you scared?
because you never know what you're gonna get. Life is like a
Yeah,
box of chocolates. You never know
you're
what you're
right.
gonna get.
Yeah.
I
I actually I actually want to adopt myself though.
do
I
you
want to
want
have
like your own children?
Yeah, yeah. I want two of my own and I want to adopt two. So what I want to do is I want to birth obviously one of my own kids, so
Asians.
one of my own eggs. I want to birth one of my wife's eggs and then I
Mhm,
want to adopt two. I want to adopt a toddler and then I
mhm.
want to adopt a teenager.
Okay. Oh,
But I
teenager is rough. Oh my god.
yeah, it is rough, but I guess so I don't know
A
if you know
boy
this,
or
but
a
I go to
girl, a
school
teenager?
for it doesn't matter.
Okay.
So I guess my mentality with it is because I don't know if you know this, but I go to school for psychology.
Okay.
And my career choice of psychology is surrounded around children who are in, the foster
Mhm,
facility, children with depression, children who have like neglection issues, etc. Or even in general, just children. My
mhm,
whole my whole mental health aspect has to do with children only because as a child, I grew up with, a great mom. My mom never mistreated me. My mom never hit me. My mom never did anything to harm me
mhm,
physically.
mhm.
But I feel like as I grew older, well, as I was growing up, I feel like mental health wasn't taken serious. Like I definitely was very depressed as a child, although I didn't really
Mhm.
necessarily suffer or struggle like my parents never hit me or anything like that, but there was definitely a mental um thing that I went through. Like I struggled a lot as a child um because of my parents, like my parents' choices, I would say. So I feel like children shouldn't have to worry about money. Children shouldn't worry about food. Children shouldn't
Right.
worry about those things. And I was worried about those things as a child, which made me have to grow up quicker. So
Mhm,
I feel like a lot of parents don't realize the impact that they're doing to their children. They think like, oh, my kid is young, they don't know what's going on, but they do.
mhm.
And I feel
Absolutely.
like
They feel what you feel.
parents parents think, like, that
Thank
they're doing an
you.
amazing
Thank
job
you.
at hiding all of these things, but they're not, and then the children are not saying anything because they don't want to hurt their parents' feelings, so I feel like the reason why I chose to do child psychology is because I want to help children be able to express those emotions and understand that they shouldn't be going through that. And
Mhm.
most parents nowadays, the first thing they want to tell their child is like when they start crying, like, well, I'm gonna give you a reason to cry,
Mhm.
versus why are you crying? Let's figure out what's
Yeah.
really bothering you inside.
Uh-huh. I've always learned there's something that I thought about. Instead of yelling at your child, speak light into them.
Yes. So, the reason why I was saying that about me adopting children is because these children that are in foster homes, they're already screwed up.
Yeah.
They already have this mentality that the person who brought them into this world doesn't love them and that they don't
Mhm.
want them. So now they're already messed up in the head.
Abandonment issues.
Yeah, so
Mhm.
I, as someone who my mom adopted 2 kids, a pair, a brother and a sister when I was younger, and I firsthand saw the result of these children being in a foster facility or the mother abandoning them, etc. And I feel like I want to make that difference. And the reason why I specifically said that I would want a toddler and a teenager is because teenagers have the lowest percentage rate of
Of
getting
getting adopted.
adopted
Mhm.
or picked because people have that mentality. No offense, you did say it, like where you don't know what you're gonna get. So
Mhm.
we're already judging them without knowing their story. And I feel like they may be hard to love, but they're worth the love. They are
Mhm.
worth to feel that way,
See,
and I have seen on
I would
social
be
media.
I think I would be okay with mentorship,
Yeah.
but I don't know if I would be able to adopt.
Yeah, well, even then, like, I wouldn't say that it would fit you to adopt only because you also have 4 kids
Mhm.
already, and they're already grown, and bringing a what we would say a troubled child into your circle already, you have such a zen and balanced children that bringing a kid who you don't know if they're
That could
gonna clash
possibly
is going to
disrupt.
cause chaos. So I wouldn't even recommend you to do that, to definitely get a teenager. But I feel like with me, the way that I wanted to work as me having children and then getting a teenager, I think it would work because my kids would grow up with them and then grow to love them. And that would be
Mhm.
a connection that they would have with my children.
Mhm.
So and that is the reason why I would want to adopt a teenager, and then I would want them to feel like, although you are older, you're still capable of being loved. When I went to cosmetology, school, I used to volunteer at a foster facility to cut their hair every
Uh-huh.
Tuesday. I would cut their hair or I would do something to their hair or whatever, and I would
Mhm.
sit there and listen to them, and that's actually kind of what directed me into going to psychology.
Uh-huh.
And the one that, like, I would say traumatized me the most was there was this little girl. I was doing her hair. She was Spanish and black. And in the foster facility, they don't know how to work natural hair. They
Mhm.
had this little girl washing her hair with Suave shampoo.
Ew.
And her hair was brittle, it was hard, and, I clarified her
Dry.
hair, I did her hair was beautiful. As I was talking to her, she tells me like, "Oh, it's my birthday," and I was like, "Oh my
Aw.
god, happy birthday," and she was like, "Thank you." She was like, "My mom is coming to see me today," and I was like, "Oh my god, really?" She was like, "Yeah, that's why I wanted you to do my hair, whatever," and I was like, "Oh my gosh," she was so excited. She's like, "I haven't seen my mom in years."
Mhm.
And I was like, "Oh my gosh," she was when I tell you that this girl was so happy, and it's so crazy that your parent abandoned you, but yet you're still so excited to see them.
Mhm.
So, the next week when I come back, I realized she doesn't want me to do her hair. So I was like, "Well, can I go check on her or whatever?" So I went to go talk to her, and she cut her bangs, like, up to, like, right here.
Mhm.
And I said, "What happened?" And she was like, "Are you gonna be mad at me?" And I was like, "No, I'm not mad at you." I was like, "Why'd you cut your hair? Why didn't you just wait until I came this week to do it?" She was like, "I was mad, so I cut my hair." And I said, "Well, why were you mad?" She said, "My mom was supposed to come see me and she didn't. She left me
Aw.
waiting."
Yeah.
And I felt so bad for her. She was like, "I thought
How old
she
is
was
she?
gonna sit." She had just turned 12. So, like, at that age, you're so confused with life
Mhm.
already. So it's like, that would be so fucked up for you to do that. For the fact that this child was looking forward to it and you're giving them false hope is what pisses me off about people. Because it's like, if you know you can't do it, then don't say it.
Linda, leave it alone.
But
Yeah.
after that, that's when I was like, yeah, I definitely want to do something within like either working with children that are in the foster department or adopting. And I decided to do both.
Well, yeah, that's probably your calling. Hold on one second. I gotta use the bathroom.
Okay.
Be right back. Watch out. Don't touch it.
I want to adopt an Asian son or Japanese. I would definitely, I actually told my wife that I wanted to have a Blasian baby, but she told me no. She said no to a Blasian baby, but I think the Asian babies are so cute. I live in South Korea, so I see Asian babies all the time and they're just so cute. Hi. Hi. What are you doing?
Hi.
What are you doing?
Hi.
Hey.
Hi. Where are you going?
Bye.
Bye.
I'm
You're back?
my God. Hi.
What?
What? Oh,
What? What are you doing, Kai?
no.
You jumping?
What?
What?
There? Yeah.
Is that a car?
This?
What are you doing?
That's such a cool car.
Who told you to get on my live?
There?
Yeah, it's so cool. Is that Mickey Mouse?
Hi.
He came on the screen. He's like, "Hi."
Yeah, he's very social now.
He is adorable though.
Let's see how long, like I said, how long that lasts.
Mhm.
I'm curious. But I feel like something must happen to Scorpios to make them not, or to be more internal rather than, you know,
Yeah.
something happens.
They're also very dependent.
Yeah. My eye. I could see that.
They're very dependent. Me and my sister's a Scorpio.
Hmm.
My sister loves like
Hey,
like having a connection. Like they crave love so much.
let me see. I have like a list of topics that I write down for whatever. I think this will be interesting. You ready?
The ones born in October, what do they call them? Depends when in October, but
Libra
Libras.
or Scorpio?
Yeah. What sign did you say your partner was?
He is a Taurus Sun Gemini Moon.
Okay, Taurus. My dad was a Taurus. Let me tell you, he was a
I'm
handful.
I'm flooded with Taurus energy. Flooded.
My dad was something else.
That's
Let's just
a
say
Scorpio.
my dad was definitely something else.
Yeah, my mom's a Taurus.
My
She's a
mom's a Virgo.
she's my mom's a Virgo moon. Watch it, Kai. Kai, you can't come over this way. Watch out. Go the other way. Go this way. Yeah.
I feel
Wow.
like Virgos and Cancers have a lot of similarity when it comes to working.
I could see that. Because Cancers are the
Um,
mother sign. They're the mother. They like to take care of things and very clean and tidy, and so are Virgos. Virgos are
yeah,
more very clean. They're neat freaks.
yeah, they are. Well, some of them. Some of them are very, very OCD.
Um, do you feel like you're the main character of your life story?
Mm, I would say yeah.
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 Hmm. I think growing up, I don't think I was. I think I'm just entering. these last few years, I would say I'm just now entering my main character energy. If that makes sense.
I feel like I have always only because I've my whole as I from what I can remember, I've always had to be the leader.
They call
So
them
I feel like
Scorpios. I'm
so
sorry.
I f oh no, you're fine. So I
Mhm.
feel like I've always been in my main character because I also feel like I have not changed because ever since I was younger, I've always been the nurturing, the caregiver, the helper. So I feel like that has just always been who I am. I would definitely say that within the last year, I have unlocked like a new side of me a little,
Mhm.
but that side is more of someone who's like willing to explore. Like now that I moved away from my family, I don't really have anyone that's dependent on me like I did when I was, back at home. Like me and my wife were talking about this the other day. When I was home, everyone was dependent on me. Everybody needed me for something, whether it was to help them with their kids,
That's
to
a
help them go
Cancer.
somewhere. I was always the one that people needed, whether it was for something tiny or something big. I was always the one that they looked for. So when I moved here to Korea with my wife, it was like a light switch.
Mhm.
And I went from being needed every day
Mhm.
to not being called, not being looked for, not
Do you like that though?
I do and I don't. So now I do it to my wife. Like I I'm not that I make her need me, but like I like to do everything for her. So like I'm the one who cooks, I'm the one who cleans because I don't work.
Okay.
So I feel like because I don't work, I have to do all not I have to, but like I want to do everything because I feel like it's just a fair trade, I guess, in my head. So like I cook, I clean, I do the laundry, I take the trash, like I do all of it because I feel like okay, well you're giving this, so I need to give this.
You're the
And I feel
homemaker.
like it yeah, and I also feel like it's me also fulfilling the void of not being needed by my family anymore, if that
Mhm.
makes sense.
Mhm.
Hi
I get it.
Kai. Hi.
Mhm.
How old are you, Kai?
See,
No.
say two,
Bye.
two.
Bye.
You know what? So,
He's so cute.
Um,
you like,
yeah, so I guess I was somewhat the same way, but me, I want to say by the time I was like in the fourth or fifth grade, I feel like I became a caretaker for my mother, and it was always just
Mhm.
me and her.
Are you an
So
only child?
yes and no. I have an older brother and I have two younger siblings, but I didn't grow up with them.
Okay, okay. Oh my god,
So
do you feel like you have only child syndrome?
yes, most definitely because I it was always just me in the house.
Yeah.
It was always just me in the house. And it's weird because now I have four kids, you know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
But I don't think I was ever the main. I think my mom was the main character of my story.
Yeah, it definitely sounds like it.
My mom
And
was
it
the
feels
main
like now
character.
as an adult because you're older and now you have children, it's like
And I
do you still feel like you're not the main character because of the fact that now
No, 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 not at all, because my kids make me feel like the main character.
Okay, okay.
If that makes sense.
Yeah.
Everything that I lacked in my childhood, my kids give me now.
Okay.
And I think that was my life purpose for when I had children was to receive the love that I should have received when I was a kid.
Okay, well that makes
So
perfect sense.
so what I didn't get growing up, they give me. So whether it's it could be anything. Even just the smallest things like because I didn't have like a lot of affection growing up. My mom wasn't
Mhm.
very affectionate. Taurus sun, Virgo moon, they're not
Yeah.
really affectionate people. She showed it in
Yeah.
other ways through like buying me gifts and stuff
I
like
was just
that.
about to say gift giving is their biggest love language.
Mhm. So to hear the words like I love you and stuff like that was very rare growing up.
Mhm.
But then when my kids, when they started talking and when they first said it didn't feel It felt strange.
I was just about to say that you felt odd. It was
Yes,
like,
it
do I say it back?
well, I knew to say it back. I knew to say it back, and it's weird because, like, even when they were babies, I was saying it to them all the time, but to hear it back, it felt weird until one day, let me see, when my daughter her name is Harley. So when Harley was about, 3-ish, when they're really talking, when she was about 3, every 5 minutes, "I love you, mom. Love you, mom. Love you, mom," and then to a point where I was like, "Oh my god."
It was overwhelming.
It was overwhelming. But then as I got older, I did a lot of shadow work and,
Mhm.
things about self. I realized, or what I believe, they're here to give me what I lacked
Mhm.
as a kid.
They're there to fill up your cup that you didn't get filled. That's
Mhm.
sweet.
Mhm. So
And
like, and
children are so loving.
it's also strange because when after she started saying it repeatedly, it became a competition for the boys to say it more. So it was just a lot of affection that I never got. So it was so awkward for me. And then it became
Yeah.
it at first it was like I wanted it to stop because it was like, oh my God, this is just too much. But then it's like the more I heard it, it was like, okay, now I'm getting
It
used to
got
it.
normalized for you.
Mhm.
It's like before I got with my wife, I was not a big physical I mean, I was, but I wasn't. I didn't like physical touch from others.
Okay.
I didn't like hugs. Don't hug me,
Mhm.
don't touch me, don't tap
Mhm.
me, I don't want a side hug. I was never that person. Then I met my wife and I love hugging her.
It just got
To
to
be
come from the right
specific,
person.
I don't like if I meet like let's say I meet you, it's not that I
Mhm.
don't want to hug you. I just think it's an awkward thing for me
Mhm.
because I didn't grow up getting hugs.
Mhm.
So as I grew
I
older, it
got a
was just
story
like
about that too.
I feel like it's just an awkward thing for me in my mental, and then I'm an overthinker
Okay.
because in my head I'm like, okay, so if I hug you, this is my theory of hugging. If I hug you, how long are we supposed to hug? Like, is there a rule? Like,
Oh,
it's a
not the
3 second.
awkwardness.
Like, is it a 3 second rule? Like, you hug me for 3 seconds and you let me go, and then it's like those awkward ones because it's like there's certain people who hug you and then don't know when to let you go, and they just keep hugging you. So then you're there like, okay, when are we gonna let go?
Yeah.
So I just don't like being put in awkward situations. So I just don't like hugging people. Like I just, hey, how are you from a
Mhm.
distance? But my wife, I ask her for a hug probably at least 4 or 5 times a day. Like
Yeah.
she'll be sitting on the couch and I'll be like, babe, can I get a hug? And she'll be like, okay,
It's
she'll give me a hug.
the and I think that also comes with age too.
Yeah.
That also comes with age.
Because when I tell you, boy, I did not like people touching me, but
Hey
yeah, I
Trey,
love this. I love when this woman hugs me.
you just missed a whole lot. We were talking about some group stuff. You missed it, man.
How do you know him?
YouTube.
Oh, really?
He actually had a YouTube back in 2016-ish.
Oh, wow.
And
So
yeah,
he doesn't do it no more?
no, he does now. He's getting back into it now. But then uh he used to do like reaction 2017. He used to do like reaction channels and stuff like that.
Oh, okay.
Um, but yeah, getting feel I don't know, feeling that having the kids is that crazy though? Cause it's like damn, I don't want my kid. And that's another thing. Like I never want my kids to feel like I'm using them for the stuff that I lack. You know what I'm saying?
I don't think that they would see it in that way because I feel like it's normal for them. Because I don't feel like you've probably ever told them like don't do it or you never
Mhm.
like tried to make them feel uncomfortable. You said it when you told me that your daughter was saying I love you. I was like, "Oh," and you were probably like, "What the hell?" and didn't know
Mhm.
like if you should say it back and you said, "No, no." I said it immediately back. So I feel like your reaction wouldn't did is not going to make them feel that
Yeah, it
way.
was my reaction was more internal. than it
Yeah.
was.
So I feel like they would be perfectly fine. I don't think that they're gonna think that. If anything, they're probably gonna grow up saying like, "Wow, my mom was." They're gonna have a different perception of what you were
Yeah, and
than
trying to
what you
break
really are.
those generational curses.
Correct.
Because
So I feel like,
her mom was adopted, and my grandmother grew up in like foster care, but
mhm,
my grandmother was also abusive to my mom. But
mm,
so my mom ran away from her home when she was 14. She was a runaway.
okay.
And she said she used to like sleep in parks and stuff like that and then
Oh
go
my
to
god.
school and stuff like that. So then by the time she had me, she never hit me. She barely raised her voice. Like she did like the total opposite, but
Of what? Yeah.
of what my grandmother did to her. But at the same time, it was still like the lack of affection and
It was
things
more
like
of a
that.
mental abuse that she didn't even realize she was doing.
Right. So with that, I guess it kind of like made me kind of just like a stone cold. Like as a kid,
Yeah.
my mom would like try to show me like movies and she'll be like on the side, which is weird. She'll be like on the side crying, like of the fucking Lion King and shit like that when when Mufasa died. But and I'll just be sitting there and she'll look
I'm
at
like,
me like, Taylor, you're not crying? I'm like, no. She's like, what's
that's
wrong
like
with you?
me. I as a child, I was a very emotional child. Like I cried for the dumbest things. Now as an adult, I'm not emotional. Like I'm emotional to certain things. Like and I also grieve weirdly. Like my dad passed away, I would say like 4 years ago now.
Mhm.
And I would say that I grieve very, very weird. Like I didn't necessarily cry. I mean, I did cry, but I didn't the way that I see people grieve and the way that I grieve are two completely different ways. Like my mentality, I guess also I wasn't raised with my dad. So I also feel like that's another impact as to
Okay.
why I didn't grieve the way that I feel like I should have. Because also, we see the world grieve one way, so we feel like that's the way that we need to grieve, and it's crying and being depressed and so on and so
Mhm.
forth. And when my dad passed away, I I cried, but it didn't hit me until like a year after he died.
Mm.
That I was just like,
What were you
he's
doing when it hit you?
I was working. So to make a long story short, my dad passed away from multi-organ failure. He
Okay.
had COVID. It was during the spike of COVID. They technically diagnosed him as he died from COVID.
I hate that.
Um, And basically, he went into the hospital because he was having a heart attack. When he got to the hospital, they said that he had COVID, so they couldn't do the surgery on him. So I was his proxy, so I had to authorize for them to give him an induced coma because if he stayed awake, he could have another heart attack and he could really die. So we were going to put him in a coma so that his heart could relax until
Okay.
his body could get rid of COVID. And then once he was negative, then we would bring him back out of the coma and then give him the heart surgery. Well, at the time, COVID didn't have a vaccine. So they ended up having to keep him in the coma. So he was in a coma for 3 months.
Mm.
And when the 3 months passed, the doctor was like, okay, well, clearly COVID is not. Basically, they've discovered that while he was in a coma, his body wasn't able to cycle out the COVID, so he needed to be awake.
Okay.
That was their prediction. So, they ended up doing that or whatever. So they ended up waking him up, but prior to waking him up, they did a trach surgery, which is basically they put like a little tube right here so that he could breathe.
Mhm.
And whatever they did the trach surgery, he woke up like maybe a week later after the 3 months of him being in a coma. And during this whole time, my dad's in a coma. I cannot visit him because COVID
Oh, the
was at a
coma.
rise. You
Mhm.
couldn't go to the hospital. You couldn't be around people with COVID because there
Mhm.
was no vaccine for it. So I was dependent on the nurses when I would call the doctors, them giving me updates. Like I was obviously blindsided. I didn't know what was going on. my dad also had other underlining issues, like he had, really, really bad diabetes, he had high blood pressure, high cholesterol, all
Mhm,
the things that you could think that a person could have that could go wrong, he had it.
mhm.
So, to make the long story short, my dad ended up waking up, they ended up sending him to a facility, which it was like a rehab after they did everything for him to recover.
Right.
So, he had to recover in the facility for 2 weeks, and then he would be able to go home. Girl, when my dad woke up, he was getting on my last nerve. But again, I still couldn't see him. My
Mhm,
dad starts telling me he's complaining to me about his butt. And he keeps telling me something about his butt. My dad has always had like scars on his legs because
mhm,
he's diabetic and it
mhm,
takes a long time to heal. So I thought when he was complaining about the itchiness, I thought maybe he had one of those scars like on his butt cheek.
mhm,
So he tells me he's complaining about it. He's like, "Can you please tell him to come change my padding?" So I'm like, "Okay." So I call the front desk and I'm like, "Hi, my dad is saying that, his back area is really itchy. If you guys could go change the padding or whatever." I was like, "Can you guys tell me what it is that he's talking about?" And they're like, "Oh yeah, he has I forgot what was the word, but basically like a bed sore is what they said.
okay,
He has a big bed
okay,
sore on his butt." So I'm like, "Oh, okay." And they were like, "But he came from the hospital with it. It's in the paperwork. Did you not know of it?" And I said, "No, I was never told about it from the hospital." So she was like, "Yeah." She's like, "I mean, it's pretty bad, but we've been taking care of it." So I'm like, "Okay."
mhm.
Girl, 2 days later, I get a call from the from the rehab place, and they're like, "Hey, so we're gonna have your dad go back to the hospital because his bed sore is getting worse." So I'm like, "Okay."
Was
So
it
when I go,
infected?
girl,
Mm,
you ever seen a loaf of bread when it's gone bad
hi.
and it gets all like it has a little
Molded?
pus, the little holes,
Oh,
it
yeah,
gets
yeah, yeah.
soft and mushy because it gets like wet?
Mhm.
That is exactly how his butt looked.
That's
And he was diabetic, so it was
oh,
worse.
yeah.
So when he
Hi.
went to the hospital, they ended up saying, that he was the bed sore was so infected that it went into his bloodstreams and started giving him multi-organ failure because the toxin from the blood in his butt was spreading to his organs.
So were they not cleaning it?
They were not rotating him for 3 months. He laid on his back for 3 months, and our body sweat. We have sweat glands all over our body. His butt was getting wet, and they were not cleaning him.
Were they scared because of the COVID to, like, go in there or something?
I guess, I don't know.
And
But
it's
then
crazy because it's
when
like, it's nothing now, it's like nothing.
literally. So when, I confronted them about it,
Did you sue?
after he passed away, they denied it.
But you can sue though, right?
Nope,
Why not?
because they technically put it in the paperwork, so there's no proof of, that they didn't tell me, in other words, because it was in the documentation. I'm like, "Okay, so it's a he said, she said, so how is it that they went out of this?"
So it's in the medical records?
Yes, it's in the medical records, and then this was the plot twist. So the only way that I was gonna be able to, sue them was if they did a not a biopsy, is it a biopsy? Whatever, when they basically check his body after he died to
Oh,
basically,
the
like, do a
autopsy.
diagnosis autopsy.
Mhm.
So when before my dad passed away, he had told me that, if he did pass away, he wanted me to bring him back to Dominican Republic.
Okay.
So when I was doing the funeral arrangements right when my dad passed away, they were telling me like, well, if he died from COVID, we can't bring his body to Dominican Republic because we would be infecting the other people on the plane with COVID because he would be in the where the luggage is.
Mhm.
And, at the time we thought the COVID was airborne.
Mm.
So, they told me the only way that I can bring my dad to DR was if I cremated him. So I was like, okay, well, I have no hesitation. My dad said this is what he wanted, so this is what I'm gonna give him.
Move, Kai.
So,
Uh-huh.
girl, I done cremated the man, and then they were like, well, because you cremated him, we can't do an autopsy, so we cannot determine if that was the reason why he died.
Wow. So it's yeah, you can't.
So I'm like, so y'all couldn't tell me that prior,
Mhm.
Shorty? I don't even know. Oh, in the gray. Oh, thanks. That just seems so aggressive. Um, but yeah, so anyway, so the whole grieving thing, I didn't really cry. I mean, I cried once, and it was because I was with my mom, and it wasn't even because of my dad. I was more so thinking in my head like how hurt I would have been if it was my mom.
Mhm.
So that is what made me cry. But me and my dad didn't grow up together. I didn't really have that father-daughter love. So it was more of like my dad passed away. I'm sad, but not like how my sister. So I have a half sister from my dad's side. The way that she was when my dad passed away was very understandable. She was a daddy's girl. My dad grew up with her. She grew up with my dad. My dad raised her. My dad took care of her. But I didn't have that experience. So I felt like it was just like you know, my dad passed away. But then after a year, it was like I had a dad, but I had a long distance dad. So
Mhm.
when it hit me was because every single time I would fly or I would go on a trip or I would do something, I would send my dad a picture or I would send my dad a message like, "Hey dad, I'm getting on the plane. Hey dad, I got off the plane." And I think I was getting on a plane
Mhm.
and I was gonna my muscle memory, my body wanted to go send him a message. And then I realized I was like, he's
Oh,
not
okay.
here. I was
Got
like, he's
you.
not here. So then that's when it hit me. And I was like, he's gone. And then after that, I was fine.
Yeah, that's deep. I think about stuff
So,
like that all the time. Like, do you do you get like premonition dreams and stuff like that?
oh yeah, girl. At one point I felt like I had one dream with my dad and he was mad at me and I was like trying to understand why he was mad at me. And I have conversations with my dad in my dream. Even before he passed away, when my dad was in a coma, I used to talk to him in my dreams about like, what should I do? Should I keep you in the coma? Should I take you off the coma? Should we do this? Should we do that? Or my dad would ask me like, oh, what's going on with
Stop.
me? And yeah, so I definitely feel like now that he's passed away, I don't see him in my dreams as often. But I feel like if I want to see him, I somehow know how to get him in my dream.
Kai, relax. Relax. Yeah, so with my mom, I recently when was this? I want to say this was like the end of March. And I recently had a dream that I got a text from my aunt saying, "Hey, um, no, I got a text from my aunt, and when I got the text, it was late. But in my head, before I opened the text, mind you, this is all in the dream. In my head, before I opened the text, I was saying to myself, "Oh no, I know what this was about." It was like grief was already hitting me,
Mhm.
right? So I pondered on when I woke up, I kept that thought in my head. Maybe sometime last week, my mom calls me and tells me, she says, "Hey, I'm getting ready to have surgery." Is what she said. This was last week. She said, "I'm getting ready
Mhm.
to have surgery. I just want to let you know." I think her surgery's on the 24th of this month. So in my head, I'm like, okay, I'm thinking about the dream that I had, and I know she has the surgery coming up. So I'm like, okay. Obviously, I didn't tell her nothing of what I had because
Mhm.
I don't want to put any bad thought. You're never supposed to have bad thoughts before you go into
Yeah.
something. So then, what's crazy is yesterday or 2 days ago, I get a text from my aunt, and it's the breakdown of what's gonna happen when she goes in. It was like, I feel like everything is coming into fruition right now, so
Mhm.
I don't know, I'm kinda not curious. Mind you, like, as I said before, like, I was, what, in the 4th or 5th grade, I grew up with a sick mom, I always took care of her, but whatever the case may be. So now I'm like, "Okay, the 24." I don't know if that dream was for my intuition telling me she's about to have surgery, 'cause
Yeah.
I didn't know anything about it, or is this my intuition telling me something may happen
Yeah.
after this surgery. 'Cause I don't know.
Yeah. I see what you mean.
Mhm.
I would say just I don't know if you're religious or not, but I would say, pray about it and go from there and, obviously see what happens, whatever happens, happens. But I think that more so the message is probably just giving you a warning about your mom. I don't think that necessarily anything bad would happen, but I think maybe just like, I guess, maybe because do you feel like you're more disconnected with your mom now as an adult?
No, if anything, I'm more connected with her now that I left. So I was with she lives in California. Remember I was telling you
Oh,
that
that's
I live
right. I
in
forgot that you
Mhm.
said you guys
She
lived in California.
She lives in California. I ended up leaving California. I packed up and just left because it was just too much.
Mhm.
And my mom will always call me for everything, even as I got older. Mind you, I have an older brother. He's like about 17 years older than me.
Mhm.
So it was always like our family dynamic is very strange. Our family dynamic is very, very strange. But me and my brother do not get along. I do not
Okay.
rock with him. It's to the point where I had a funeral for him in my head years ago. That way I could just out of sight, out
Yeah.
of mind. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But now it's kind of like all the things that she may have needed from me, now she goes to him for it.
Mhm.
I felt like I got at that time I had what 3 kids. It was just too much. It was just like,
Mhm.
okay, I need time for myself. So I packed up, moved to Atlanta. But now that I'm gone, like yeah, she calls me every day. She talks to Kai every day, whatever, the kids, whatever the case
Mhm.
may be. But I still know, I think now that she's getting older, the sicknesses, okay, so let me just tell you what she has. She has Parkinson's,
Oh, wow.
she has lupus, she has rheumatoid arthritis, she has kidney disease now, and she more stuff, but those are like the main things.
The
A
main
lot
ones,
of the
okay.
things came from her. They think a lot of the things came down from her lupus because they found her lupus so late.
Mhm.
I don't know if you know anything about lupus or not.
Yeah, I know a little.
Okay. And when I tell doctors, because like when the doctors they ask you, like when you go in, like, so what does your mom have? What does your dad have? Or they want to know like your family history. I always
Yeah.
have to run down. They're like, really? She has both of those? Usually those go well, Parkinson's and lupus, they're all autoimmune diseases.
Mhm.
So I get tested for them, and she'll call me all the time and be like, Taylor, did you get blood work done? Did you make sure? Please make sure that because I want to make sure that you don't get it, blah blah. Regardless of
Mhm.
whatever the case may be, if I get it, I'm gonna get it. It's not like I just can't just not get it. I get
Yeah.
it. But so
It's not like
far,
women.
so far so good. I guess the earlier detected, the better.
Mhm.
So yeah, so far lupus, yeah, it's no joke. So because of that, she calls me all the time. And I think not only that, now that I'm also further away, she calls me to, obviously check up on me. I check up on
Yeah.
her. But I will say this, because of the relationship that we've had or that I had with her growing up, with it being emotionless,
Mhm.
it's hard for me to be emotional for her,
Mhm.
even though I want to be.
Yeah. It's kinda like how when I told you about my dad, like, I felt like I should be, but I
Mhm,
wasn't.
mhm.
So, yeah, I can understand that.
Yeah. So I don't know. I don't know. That dream, I don't know what that dream.
Listen, it's early here. What time is it? When we got on, it was like 7 in the morning.
Hang
It's
on, y'all.
8:38.
Be right back.
I'm
I'm going to put
tired.
Kai in the bed. Hold on.
I'm tired. I don't even know why I'm tired. I went to bed early, but I'm yawning because and I didn't drink all my coffee either. I'm probably gonna go right back to bed after this. What time is it where you guys live? I'm doing good. Just trying to be a supportive friend here. 7:40. Oh, do you guys live in Atlanta too? My name is Liz. Kai's about to give her a run for her money, thinking he's going to sleep. That boy is wide awake. Michigan.
All right.
Kai's about to run back into that room talking about, hi, mommy.
Oh fuck no, he in the crib now. You good? What was I about to? So what were we talking about? Let me see something.
Nice to meet you too. Do you go by DG? I saw somebody talking about music in the messages.
What did it say?
I think one of them, well,
Kai is in
when
baby jail right now. He is fine. He is fine. Did you ever make your lamb chops?
girl, no. So the thing is, I don't really like lamb chops.
Oh, okay.
I don't like the taste of lamb chops, but my wife loves them. Like every single time we go out, she always gets them. But I feel like maybe I should just learn how to make it for her.
Not free
So,
Kai.
not for
It is Kai's bedtime. He is in his crib chilling. I put on a little movie for him though. He's watching Minions with the timer on the TV. He's good.
Kai's probably in there like, bruh, they done put me in here.
No, he was singing the little intro to it. He's good. Plus, he had a 30-minute nap today, so he's straight.
Free Kai is so funny. Are you happily married? I am happily married. So are you and your partner married?
No, 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 no,
No. Do
no.
you guys want to get married?
So yes, I guess so. One day. I don't know if I'm ready all the way.
I never
Just
thought that I would get married, but
really.
I feel like me and my wife just pulled a lesbian move. Not that we don't love each other, because we definitely do, but we definitely pulled a lesbian move.
Y'all do that poly shit. No.
No. Who's y'all? No, yeah, so like you remember the girl that I was telling you about that I was talking to prior that I introduced to my family?
Yeah.
After she met my family, I was just like, I was immediately turned off. One thing about me, when I was dating people, if you gave me one, not even a centimeter of a red flag, I was out. I was out like a light.
Mhm.
So I immediately was turned off. And one thing about me is I'm gonna go find me somebody else.
Period.
As I feel like I don't know if it's just an Aquarius thing or maybe within my other signs, like I don't ponder on things. Like I get over things immediately.
Mhm.
You do me wrong and I'm out. I'm gonna go find someone who's gonna give me what I do want.
Mhm.
So when me and this girl stopped talking, I started going back into my dating life. I started talking to other people. And that is when I met my wife. And after us talking on a dating app for like 2 weeks, you're an Aquarius? Yeah, I'm an Aquarius. After us talking for about 2 weeks, we decided to meet up halfway. So she lived in Ohio. I lived in Massachusetts. So
Okay.
halfway from where she lived and where I lived was Buffalo, New York. So we both drove 5 hours to Buffalo, New York and
Mhm.
met. We were there for like the weekend or whatever. We went back to our separate ways. And then Valentine's Day came around and we met up in New York again. And we spent the weekend in New York. After that, I would go to Ohio, she would come to Massachusetts to visit me, but then she got told that she was getting sent to Korea for a year because
Okay.
remember, she's in the military.
Mhm.
So I was like, "Bro, I just met this girl and she's leaving me already." And I really liked her. So I was like, "She's giving me everything that I was looking for, and now she's going to Korea?" So then whatever, she was like, "If you're not interested in having a long distance relationship, like, for a year, I understand, it is what it is." And I was like, "No, no, no." I was like, I can make it work." But I think that the reason why she was so intriguing to me is because she wasn't giving me what I wanted. As an Aquarius, we want what we can't get.
Okay.
So she was making it a challenge. Like I wanted to like have something serious with her, but then I was like, do I really? I haven't taken no one that serious yet. So she ended up because I'm a very transparent person. I told her, I be outside, I date people, I talk to multiple people at a time unless I'm in a relationship. Like I'm very transparent about what I do and how I date.
Mhm.
I feel like when you're dating, you're entitled to talk to more than one person. If you're
Mhm.
not, if I didn't tell you like I'm solely talking to you, I feel like I'm not obligated to give you that loyalty.
Right.
So I told her, that that's the way that I was, but no one could catch my attention while I was talking to her. Like I was not even tempted to talk to anyone else. So I was like, damn, maybe she's the one. So I ended up telling her, like, would you consider like us getting in a relationship before you move to Korea? And she was like, I'm gonna be very honest with you. She's like, I like you, but I'm scared because I feel like you can switch up. The way that you have told me that you can like someone right now, and then 2 days later, I could do something and you'd be like, I don't think so. Like,
Mhm.
it scares me. As
Right.
a Leo, she was like, I feel like I don't have that sense of security when it comes to you right now. So I was like, okay. She's like, so I'm going to give you a probation. If you
Not
can last the
probation.
yes, she was like, if you can last the probation, we can get into a relationship before I go to Korea. So I'm like, okay. So she put me in the probation, and, the probation was 3 months.
And you
If
s
I could
and you did it too, that's the crazy part.
Yes. So, the probation was 3 months. I needed to talk to her and only her for 3 months, and if I could commit to that, then she would be down for us getting into a relationship. So, I felt like, "Okay, challenge accepted." I love a challenge. So, she gave me the challenge, and obviously it worked. After 3 months of us, solely dating each other, but not in a relationship, she made it official. And 2 months later, she had to leave to Korea.
Right.
So I was so sad because I was so used to seeing her, like, we were going to each other almost twice a month. Like, she was applying more pressure than someone who would apply who lives in the same city as you.
Okay.
Because like, you're traveling to see me and I'm going to go see you basically every other weekend, and we live in
Mhm.
2 completely different states. Most people would not be doing that. So, come June, we were like, "Why don't we just get married?" And I
See,
was
I
like,
have a couple gay friends, and a lot of my gay friends will tell me gay relationships move very fast.
They do, but this is my first one ever where I moved this quick. So I was like, I've never thought about getting married. I had that idea very, very far back in the back of my head.
Aquarius.
Like, I could not see myself being committed to one person because it was like my attention span to someone was very short. Like, I'm telling you, you did the tiniest little thing to me, and I was just like, I'm done. And I would walk away. And I don't feel like I owe you an explanation. I didn't feel like you know,
Mhm.
I feel like all my life I've never been given a reason why or an explanation, so I didn't feel like I needed to give anyone my explanation because if I didn't get it, you were not gonna get it. That
Right.
was my mindset.
They go
So,
Capricorn for you right here.
oh Lord, that's why he came off so strong. So I ended up, I was like, you know what? We should get married. And she was like, are you sure? She was like, is that what you want? And I was like, yeah. And girl, we got married. And then I was like, well, I said, if we're gonna get married, I don't want to be apart. I said, "I don't want to experience our first year of marriage, us being apart. You in another country, me in another country." We would have been 14 hours apart.
Yeah, that's insane.
So we did it for like the first month, and I was like, "Yeah, I'm not doing this." I quit my job of 10 years.
Where were you working?
I was a corporate manager. I
Okay.
managed managed. So I worked at Sally Beauty, and it was like I was a district manager. So I
Gotcha.
oversaw 22 stores.
Okay.
So, I, I was, doing my job. And after 10 years, I was like, you know what? I'm gonna quit. So I
Mhm.
quit and I moved here to Korea, and I haven't worked for a year now, and now I'm a
How
wife.
wait, so how's the cost of living out there?
It's so cheap. Everything here is so cheap. I wish
Right.
that, and even crazy to say because Korea is
Really?
very homophobic, and there's not many black people. And my wife, obviously, from the videos, you can tell my wife is black.
Mhm.
I love it here.
Does she like it there?
She loves it. The only flaw that I would say about Korea would be I wouldn't even say it's a flaw. I mean, their language, they speak Korean. I
Mhm.
feel like as Americans, we are so entitled because in America, we adjust to like Spanish people, like, our we'll have like language options, like Spanish, blah 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 blah.
Mhm.
Korea, they don't give a fuck. It's
So
either you know it or you don't
how
know
do you
it.
communicate?
So we learned a few words like how to say hi, thank you, this, that, etc. And we use apps to translate, like Google Translate,
So,
Image
like,
Translate.
ordering food, because I saw y'all went
Yeah.
out to eat
So
before, so how do you do that?
so we there's an app called Papago.
Mhm.
You take a picture of the menu and then it translates it to English. Where
Mm.
we live, they have some locations have like English translators because I live right off the base. So it's like so you know how we have like little like Chinatown,
Yeah,
Koreatown,
y'all got
they have
American
little
Family.
they have Little America,
So what's over
which is
there?
literally American food. So you get American cuisine, you get Indian food, it's basically all kinds of food. Like there's
But
Indian food, there's
wh
Mexican food.
what is American food, though? Because it's like everything we
Girl,
have.
burgers,
Because burger's
girl,
not even
literally
American.
exactly, but they consider it American. Like they have like burgers, they have
Fries.
fries, pasta, but they consider it American because that's what they can, I
'Cause it's
guess, consider
I
American.
had to think about it, like, years ago. I'm like, America don't even have, like, their own food for
Yeah,
real.
hot dogs, pizza. Um,
Pizza's Italian.
it's considered Italian, but they have it under American cuisine.
Chicken nuggets, maybe.
Nuggets. But yeah, so we wish that we could stay here for
Burgers
longer.
are not American. Burgers are German, I think.
Yeah.
I
But
think.
yeah, so I really wish that we could stay here longer, but unfortunately our contract ends in June. So when June comes, we're getting restationed back to America. And we're going to
That's why
Florida.
you're trying to figure out where you're trying to go.
Yeah. So we're getting sent to Florida though. Oh yeah,
You
we have
sound so
McDonald's here.
disappointed.
Girl, I lived in Florida before. I wasn't a fan. Florida is very, very expensive. And I feel like going from somewhere where it's so cheap to going to somewhere where it's so expensive is gonna be a headache.
So
Because
wait,
like
so when they tell you when they move you, they don't help you with, like, the cost of living, like
oh
rent and
yeah,
stuff?
yeah, yeah, they do. So they move all of our belongings. So like a furniture, not furniture, but like a moving company comes, they pack everything for you, they put it in boxes, whatever it is that they do, and they bring it to America for you. And then they'll bring it to your home and they'll unpack it for you too.
Do they pick
So
your place for you, or do you
no,
pick the
so you
place?
have 2 options. So option number 1 is you can get a home in the base and live in the home base, which is like little townhouses,
Mhm.
or you can move outside of the base and they'll give you a certain amount of money called BAH, and that's what kind of will help you pay your bills.
Got you.
But the price of that they give you depends on the state that you live
Right.
in. So based on, how much
Mhm.
the rent percentage is in that state. But yeah, so for the most part, they do help you with that. Um, but my wife, she actually likes to buy properties where she goes because she feels like she gets more out of her money.
I have a question though, because now that Trump is in office out here and they
Girl.
have this whole isn't there something now with being Is she in the Army or what is she in?
She's in
Navy?
the Air Force.
So being in the Air Force and being in the LGBTQ community.
So from what she told me, so right now Trump is more focused on the transgenders.
Okay.
He's kicked out everybody who's a transgender.
Wow.
So all transgenders are not allowed in the military now. They let them all go. Um and she said that prior to when Obama became president, the military had a "you don't say, we don't ask" policy
Right.
when it came
Okay.
to the LGBTQ community. So she says that she thinks it's just gonna go right back to that, but she doesn't know if they're going to if they do end up deciding to go back to that, they don't know if she doesn't know if they're going to see our marriage as a marriage, like, if they're gonna think it's legit because we are married
Did you get married in the
legally.
States?
Yeah, we do. It's
Okay.
a legalized marriage, but, if it's we don't know, like, kind of policy, they're not going to recognize our sexuality because it to them, I don't exist. If it's a but, kind
So
of
how does that
situ so because
affect
she's
you?
married
Uh-huh.
because she's married, she gets paid more because I'm
Right.
a dependent. So
Right.
if they don't see her as someone who's married, they will be taking that money away.
Got you. So would if that was the case, you have to go back to work, I guess.
Well, yeah, well, either way, I'm going back to work once we go back to the States. I just can't work here in Korea
Visa
because
stuff.
I'm not a Korean citizen.
Okay.
But yes, I definitely had intentions on going back to work once I went back to America. This was just a temporary thing. I can't be a stay-at-home wife. I have to be outside. I have to do something. I have to be social at some point.
Well, at least you'll be only thing okay, I love Florida. Well, where in Florida would you go?
Oh, we're moving to Tampa.
Okay. I love Florida. I love Miami, whatever the case may be. I don't like the laws out there.
Yeah.
Uh, not
My
necessarily the
other
laws, but the
my other thing with Florida is well, I wouldn't even say just Florida, but I don't want to get political, but basically I'm two things that Trump doesn't like. I'm Hispanic, who was not born in America,
Mhm.
and I'm gay.
Mhm.
So I feel like I already have two I wouldn't say two targets because I am a United States citizen now as of the age of 18 because I've been here all my life and my mom became a citizen before I turned 18, so I'm a US citizen. But I feel like in the back of my head I always have this idea because it's like you never know what this man can get away
But you feel
with.
like you can get deported or something?
Ye and I wouldn't say get deported, but it could be a chance. He could decide that, "Okay, I don't care if you're a citizen or not, I'm gonna send you back to where you came from," but
You hear what he did to that man that said the US citizen that was here
mhm.
and they sent him to what's that? Because they said he was part of MS-13 or something like that.
Yeah, and they sent him but
And
that's
they
my
won't
thing,
bring him
like
back.
that's my thing, so that's what I'm saying, like, he could change his mind at any moment and be like, "Well, I don't care if you're a US citizen, go back to where you came from." I was born in Dominican Republic, but I was
Mhm.
never raised in Dominican Republic. I went to America when I was 2 months old. So all my life, I only know America. So if I was to be sent back to Dominican Republic, I don't know how I would survive.
Have
I
you
speak
been?
Spanish.
Have you
Yeah,
been to
yeah.
the DR?
I went to DR all my life. All every summer I went to Dominican Republic. But there's a difference of going on vacation and actually living there.
Got you. Yeah, that's like
So
everywhere. That's like visiting Vegas versus living in Vegas.
correct.
Yeah.
Correct. So I definitely feel like it would be that I guess that's mainly my fear of going back to Florida. And because that state is not as supportive, we'll just say that,
Yeah.
of both of my
The best thing
lifestyles.
about Florida is the weather and the beach and the food.
Yes.
The food is great.
Yeah. But overall, like I said, I pray on it and I've had the conversation with my wife about it and she knows my fears. She knows, all of it. But I also have family who's in Florida. I have a lot of family in Florida. My
Okay.
grandma's there, a lot of my aunts are there. So, I mean, if they're fine, I should be fine. But I'm also the only gay one in my whole entire family from both sides. So,
I mean, they not gonna know you gay unless you just out there like, oh, you out there
well, no,
yelling,
no,
I'm gay.
yeah, no, definitely. I know what you mean. But I just, in my head, I just, I feel like people are just also so judgmental, and I also feel like being here in Korea has made me open my eyes more because here they're very homophobic, but
Okay.
they're not like I feel like I'm in America, they're just so big about wanting to share their opinion.
Yeah. The
Here,
freedom of speech and all that shit.
yes, here they don't give a fuck. They don't fuck with gay people, but they're not gonna go up to you and be like, "Oh, we don't like you people,
So
blah
how
blah
do
blah."
you know that they don't fuck with that?
So Koreans have this thing where they are one, you don't see a gay Korean out,
Okay.
like them to come out of the closet because Korean parents are very, very strict about it. They're very vocal in the Korean culture of not being gay. Like they're not accepting of their children being gay.
Like I want to say Jamaica's like that too.
You will not see a gay Korean on site.
Okay.
I will tell you that I maybe my gay radar flagged maybe one couple in the year that I've been here,
Mm.
and it was on the train. Other than that, it's all heterosexual relationships. And it could be 2 things as to why they stare at us because, 1, we're 2 girls together or because my wife is Black. But I ask my wife this all the time. I'm like, "Do you think that they're staring at us because they know that we're gay, or do you think that they're staring at us because you're Black?" And she'd be like, "I don't think that they know we're gay," because she's also a very feminine girl.
Okay.
So she's like, "I think that they think we're friends."
Mhm.
Because even to this day, when we go out to eat, we go to the same restaurant almost every single time that we go out. And to this day, they still ask us, "Are you guys paying together?"
Uh, okay.
So
So do
she's
y'all
like,
do
"There's actually
are y'all like PDA and all that kind of stuff?
no,
Okay. Is it illegal out there?
no."
Oh, okay.
I mean, it's not. You can't get married.
Mhm.
Yeah, and they don't recognize
'Cause
us
I know with
as
in like
a married couple.
Dubai, it's just like banned. Period.
Oh
You
wow, I
just
didn't know that.
yeah. You can't. I don't. You can't even have. You can't even show any type of affection in Dubai. Anyway.
Oh wow, I didn't know that.
Mm-mm, they'll
Yeah,
lock
so
your
I
ass up so
just
quick.
yeah, so I just but again, they're not disrespectful with it though. Like they don't feel like they need to share their opinion about me being gay.
Okay.
So I guess that's the difference between America and here. In America, they're very, very opinionated and they feel like they're entitled to say what they want because it's freedom of speech. Versus in Korea, they don't like it, but they're not going to stay here and make you feel some type of way about it.
They need to
But they
stay.
do stare a lot. I will tell you that, especially if you're dark skinned. Like the amount of people. So you've seen that movie with Will Smith and his son, Karate Kid, when he
Yeah.
does the whole wax on, wax off. So
Mhm.
you remember when he went to China that they were like touching his hair?
Mhm.
They do that to my wife all the time.
Really?
We'll be at a cafe. There was one time we were at a cafe and these Korean ladies were sitting next to us and they were looking at us. And again, we're used to them looking at us because we're foreigners to them. We look different.
Mhm.
And one lady came up to her and the other one starts talking to us in English and she's like, "Oh, she says that your hair is so beautiful." And she gets up and she starts touching my wife's hair. And my wife is like, and the lady is like, "It's so beautiful, so beautiful." And like then another one came. So then at one point, 3 of them were touching her hair. So
Oh
then
my
my wife
god.
looked at me and I was like, "Okay, babe, let's go." So we leave. We're walking. My wife wants a cotton candy. So we go to get a cotton candy. And this guy, I thought that my wife maybe had something on her shirt. The guy reaches over and he starts touching her hair. And I was like, okay, we gotta go inside. It's just like they're so mesmerized. Oh, this was another thing. On our last trip, we were in this island called Jeju Island here in Korea.
I've heard of them.
And we were at the island and we were eating Korean barbecue. And this lady came up to us and I thought that she was gonna say something because I was recording. I thought she was gonna say like, oh, that maybe I had them in the background of the picture or something like that.
Mhm.
So she came to us and she's talking to us or whatever. And then she was like, oh, that the people at her table are dancers and from here, like from Korea
Mhm.
and they've never seen Americans before. So they were mesmerized by us and wanted to know if we could take a picture with them.
That's how I be. Yeah.
Oh, my wife was like, okay."
So
They took at least 20 pictures.
my friend is I have a friend who's Korean and black, and she would talk about how her grandmother didn't like her father because he was black.
Yeah. Yeah, they
Yeah.
don't really, so it's a hit or miss, like, some of them like black people, some of them don't. I think that they like them from a distance, like, they like how they look, they know that they look different, but I don't think that they would be accepting of, like, a relationship.
That's so crazy.
It is. But it is a
Uh,
beautiful country. They do have a very, very
I
beautiful
wanna go
country.
to Thailand.
Thailand is beautiful. I went to Thailand before.
I wanna go to Thailand and I wanna go to Bali.
Oh, Bali. I've been to the Philippines too.
Yeah, I keep seeing how like all these people keep moving to Bali, and I'm so curious about it.
Yeah, and a lot of people are moving to Thailand too.
Yeah, Thailand is such a so pretty. It's
It
just I
is.
just love being by the water. I don't know. And then they say Thailand's super affordable too. But it's just like,
It
okay,
is.
if I was just to pick up and leave, what would I do for a living? My YouTube would have to just be like,
Something that's common in Thailand is being a teacher, an English teacher.
but see, I want to make more money than that.
Yeah, being an English teacher is actually really common in Thailand.
I would want my YouTube to be popping. You know what? Or I would just come up with an online course and sell it
Oh
to the
yeah.
schools.
Yeah, a lot of people I've seen that as a really popular thing, like making ebooks and stuff like that and selling it online.
You know, I got books.
Huh?
I said I have books.
Oh, you do? What kind of
Mhm.
books?
Well, one, let's see. I have one physical. Come on, let me see. Ugh, here's one.
Ooh, what is it about?
This is like a self help book.
Okay.
So this is it's called The Secret Code of Vibes, and this is actually volume one, and this is affirmations.
Oh, okay.
So this it has like so this is I'll read you the table of contents. It's number one is finding love. Chapter one is finding love. Chapter two is self confidence. Chapter three is staying positive. Four is putting up boundaries. Five is self care. Six is being a better friend. And seven is abundance in your career goals. And then I have, it's just like super artsy and
Mm-hmm.
colorful. You know, I just love art and stuff like that. So for me, I made it to be like almost like a coffee table book. So it's
Yeah.
something like you wake up and you pick up something you need something positive before you go to work or when you just
Yeah.
decide like to start your day and you can just visualize and look at the pictures and stuff like that. So yeah, that's
That's
what
cool.
that's what
Do
this
you
is.
ever promote it? Because I've actually never, I didn't even know that you sold book.
I in my first few videos I have in my YouTube, and
Uh-huh.
then I have a Patreon too, but I stopped because I ended up getting carpal tunnel. I
Mm.
know I need to get you a physical copy. Yes, I got you. I still haven't. I need to get more printed because I sold out of all of my physical copies. I just have to get right now. I have like all electronic, like ebooks and stuff like that. And then I have
Okay.
another book. This one is strictly electronic because it's large. This is actually like it's called Meet the Family, and that one I actually started writing that on Threads. I was bored one day and I was just like, let me just write a story. And that shit ended up going viral. And
Oh,
I got over like a million views. So that one went crazy. So what I did was on that, every Tuesdays and Wednesdays at 9 p.m. Eastern time, I would write a chapter from the book and put it on threads. So everybody would come back at a certain time, certain day,
Oh, wow.
and read, and we'll all comment on it and stuff like that. But now I don't know if I'm I don't know if I should say what the next that one's called Meet the Family. And that is about it's a family. So it's
Yeah.
a girl named Monica. She's a popular hairstylist. And then her husband name is Michael.
Mhm.
And then she has two other siblings, Billy, but his street name is Reaper. And then she has an older sister named Malia. They grew up in like this Christian home, but Billy, Billy slash Reaper, he's like this street boy, in the streets with his best friend named Nick. And you know, they're like D boys or whatever they're like. One day, Monica goes through her husband's phone and she sees that he's cheating on her with her best friend.
Oh, wow.
So she sets him up to get caught. So basically, like, she goes through his phone. She pretends to, while he's sleeping, she pretends to like text her saying, like, yeah, come over. My wife is gone. Monica's gone for the day. Be here by 7 o'clock or whatever. Right. So when he wakes up, she tells him, hey, I'm about to order us some Uber Eats. What do you want? So she pretends like she's ordering some food. But really, when the doorbell rings, when she says, "Oh, the food is here," it's really her best
The
friend.
girl.
They get into this whole thing. Boom, she moves out the house, she goes to her parents' house, and somehow he persuades her to come back home, right? Thanksgiving comes around. He ends up beating up her dad, her
Oh my
husband.
god.
Yeah. And that's when her brother comes in, and now it's like a back and forth thing where he's trying to like kill Michael, her husband and all kind of stuff. It's
This
like
book sounds so interesting. I need to get it.
oh yeah, it's on Patreon.
It's
Or
on
I can
Patreon.
send it to you. I can send it to you, the ebook. But anyway, I'm working on something big after that. And I have a spinoff of that, and it's called District Brats.
Mm.
And District Brats is how can I explain it? So one day these two sisters, they were at school, and they live in the projects, but they always come to school very well dressed. They had the mom that always kept them in designer, but they lived in the projects, and she always
Oh
kept their house.
Lord.
She always kept her house real nice. The kids always thought that their father was an electrician, but he's really a drug dealer. But
Oh
that's what the
Lord.
parents told their daughters.
Mhm.
So one day, I guess the teachers were kind of like not jealous, but like when you have like white teachers working in like an
Yeah.
inner school, inner district, whatever. So one day, one of the girls' moms calls the teacher to cuss her out because she wouldn't let her use the bathroom when she asked.
Mhm.
Like you got to raise your hand to use the bathroom. And all
Yeah.
that stuff. The teacher says no. So her mom calls up to the school and cusses out the teacher. And as the daughter's walking by, she hears the teacher say, "I'm so sick of these district brats." And so that's how they get their little clique
Mhm.
name. They create like this little gang called the District Brats.
Oh wow.
So
It
yeah,
sounds like interesting though.
it's
And
that
you
one's
come up with
based
all
off in
these
the
stories?
90s. Hmm.
Oh wow. You
Hmm.
have a very big imagination.
Oh, I do. I do. I'll I'll send you over the story.
Definitely. I'll definitely watch it. We'll read it. And then I'll give you my input.
I promise you, it'll have you. It had Satori right here. He read a French
Mhm.
language. He wanted more and more and more of it. It was good. Like guys and girls end up liking it. I want to tell you what this next project is, but it's too soon.
No,
I'm
just
excited.
leave it a suspense.
I'm so excited for this one coming up because I'm in the process of working with this one. This is going to be dope. But yeah,
We love that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
What time is
So
it?
yeah, writing is like therapeutic for me. That it just happened on just a whim. I was like I said, I was just bored and so let me just type up some bullshit and just see what happens. I was not expecting it to go
To go
left
off.
to
Yeah.
the way that it did.
Everything happens for a reason.
Yep. Yep, yep, yep.
Well, Taylor, I am gonna get off only because my phone is dying. It's on 10%, so I have to let it
For sure.
charge. But it was fun getting on here with you. Hopefully, you can get on more. Do
Yeah,
you think
maybe
you'll
we
do
should
it
try to
more?
do it like a weekly thing.
We can.
And do like you want to do Sundays?
Yeah, we could do Sundays.
Okay, yeah, we'll do
Same
Sunday
time.
like a Sunday catch up.
Yeah, we could definitely do that.
Okay,
So, I'll message you later on. Well, tomorrow because it's already I know late for you, and we can think of like topics that we could talk about.
for sure.
Alrighty. Well, have a good night.
You too.
Bye.
Bye.